Afternoon, Sushant. How are you?
Enjoying Delhi's nice chill. It has descended 1 month in advance. So that's now where that tells us exactly where we are in this macrocosm.
Yes,
That which we thought was stable, permanent, unmovable, and utterly safe forever is also changing.
very true.
This, all right. So the world of Maya is actually facing us straight away here and now,
Oh,
all the
absolutely.
time. Or slowly on top of the faster current, we get caught with the fastest current and get lost with the shifted out of, get disoriented with the changes that are taking place. But I do consider myself a scientist about our relationship with space and time.
Hmm.
How we manage space and time constitutes our entire state of well-being. Yeah. Our fear, for instance, fear is a long-term mm, experience of the long term. What is that? The fear of annihilation, fear of death. All right. So it's inevitable and inherent in every human being, every living being. Even the most primitive single cell organisms clearly show fear and reaction to that fear. All right. And I remember when I started my journey with process work in 1950 years back, I was completely, something turned around inside. I came back from the lab. I had hardly spoken there actually. I was not a very, I speak a lot more now than I did then, for sure. Uh, but I used to be consulted during the lab in the afternoon, in the breaks, and after the sessions were over, crowd would collect in my room to discuss. And I came back from there and found big things that happened inside me, which I had done nothing about. Yeah. And that is what created a mystery and a magic about it. In fact, I've written this paper called Mystery and Magic of the Here and Now.
It's in
Yeah.
the Sumedhas website too.
Yes,
Hmm.
that's the one. So there is a mystery and magic in the here and now where the passing transients, which is our experience, daily experience, and the permanent long term, which is the time we are not aware of most of the time. Those two intersect at all points of time. The long term is constantly at play. The short term is riding that long term. And process work, if I put it very scientifically, brings our attention to this. Now, I'm stating the end of the theory right up front. This is a theory of process work, and therefore it determines the practice.
Very nice.
Uh, how do you catch the short term and the long term? A glimpse of. You can't catch it in your hands. Yeah. And what is the way to catch it? What is that instrument? That is attention. So the slogan in the TPPW workshop is attention is everything. Three words. Attention is everything. What's happening to your attention? Where is it going? Are you aware of it? Most of the time we are not. We take it for granted. And yet you can actually practice being attentive to your attention.
Wow.
That's what we do in process work, no? That's what we're doing. That's why we're saying here and now. Here's the data. And the challenge comes then say only here and now. Then why do you ask me my story of my life? And I got curious. Uh, my curiosity is, I've always loved my curiosity. That's actually been the mainstay of my lonely childhood, being the fourth child. Uh, didn't have any attention from my father. He used to love playing bridge and chess. He was All India Railwayman's champion. I used to get damn put off that he had no time for me, but he had time for that lab. Suddenly, I get a call from him in the hostel. And there were no phones that time in the rooms, no? I mean, we didn't have mobiles. So I had to go to the mess because the mess boy had come and said, आपके लिए कॉल आया था, प्रोफेसर गर्ग आपसे बात करना चाहते हैं. So I went then called him up. He said, hey, I want you to come and work with me in the next lab. I said,
Wow.
wow.
Which year was this
How?
when Purin called you?
Hmm?
Which year was this?
1972.
Wow. Hmm.
One part of my mind is constantly working on the theory. Even now it's moving. All right. And I'm very glad for that. I'll be introducing my new three-layer concept, three layers of experience concept, this TPPW. And every time I've been bringing in something new, and I'm enjoying that thoroughly. Uh, as an experience for the participants, it would be certainly an immersive lab-like experience. Lab experience, actually, there'll be labs, and there will be debriefing of the underlying theory of that particular exercise and connecting it up with the larger macro picture. I will be drawing a map of the first levels of experience to the cosmic levels of experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
And identifying with words what the contents of that each level is and demonstrating for each person how all these levels exist within us. And it is possible to keep cultivating our attention to be able to reach all these points.
Fabulous. Let me thank you. I didn't want to interrupt you, Shushanto, but there are so many
Thank you.
critical things that you've said that for the benefit of the reader, I'd like to quickly just summarize a few of the points. I hear you
Hmm.
talking about that attention is everything, and you didn't say it, but meaning that wherever attention is directed, energy flows in that particular
Yes.
place alongside.
Hmm.
What's amazing is that you've actually uh, begun this work way back in 1972, and you have over 50 plus years of looking at process itself. We won't discuss what is process work, though you've hinted at the three layers here. Uh, we we will use that in when we meet to go deeper into what is process, and that is.
There is one form of process work in which the by their own design and rightfully so in their setting, the what we call facilitator, they call consultants, the Tavistock School, and they use a method in which there's a very direct confrontation experienced by the participants, although that's not necessarily the intent of the, as you know, in our tradition, certainly in Sumedhas, we do our work with ourselves as facilitators. So if there's a participant who is disturbed or feels violated by us, there's an absolute entire full room to for the person to speak up. Happens only occasionally now. Rarely. I don't remember the last time I had any such significant confrontation. But confrontation with the realities will be spoken. That's a reality of all labs anyway.
Yeah. So
So,
thank you for sharing about the GRC approach, which
hmm,
obviously is about uh, for the faculty to share at the gestalt of what's happening at a group level and staying away from what's happening at the individual level. Whereas I think the work of process level, the Sumedian style, is not only working at individual and group level simultaneously, but the anchor person himself is also coming in and
yeah.
giving his or her data as a co-facilitator in the
Hmm.
process. Ways of how one acts in the world.
Yeah.
What's the benefit to a person who's just been for a lab, wants to come for TPPW? What is the, as there is popular today, takeaway, outcome, output?
Anyone, they can talk to any
So
one
what
of
you're
us
saying
and
then is that it's not completely compulsory that somebody has prior lab exposure. But if you feel that the underlying foundation conditions are right, you might
Yeah.
extend the invitation for the
Yeah.
person to attend this. So that's good. That's good for people to know who are keen. You spoke about hinted at a new three-layer, and then you ended up enticingly talking about the cosmic order and so on. Could you give some flavor of what you mean by the three layers?
Before that, let me add something from my side at
Hmm.
my initiative, and that is people who are working in OD
Hmm.
and learning in OD.
Hmm.
For them, this is a safe lab,
Hmm.
all right, because it doesn't necessarily go to the intensity of labs,
Hmm.
but it gives a flavor of a lab
Hmm.
and gives a theory. So they know that this knowledge is available.
Hmm.
So people working in OD, people working in HR, L&D, they will get a taste of process work as well as the knowledge that process work holds, which is not easy to access without going through the experience.
Thank you, Shihanta, was saying that. And to the reader and the listener, I just wanted to say that this program is called a workshop actually, and it's got 70%, which is lab-like and using immersive experiential exercises. But there's also space for 30% of theory that is going to be shared, and all through theory and practice is being combined. So there will be high amount of designs like psychodrama and other exercises guided that will enable you to explore deeper and through an immersive process to engage with self and to engage with groups. But at the same time, it will be packaged around with also concepts and also respond to the cognition. That is why Sushanta is right now calling out that this is a much safer lab than otherwise, where you encounter self or go into a first level a lab for an entrant. Yes, Sushanta, please continue.
Yeah. So that's that. The last part of your question, the cosmic,
Hmm.
is my challenge to the Western world.
Hmm.
How where the Western world, I'm calling it Western, but it's actually Abrahamic, not just Western. Western is geographic,
Hmm.
but in terms of the philosophy of life, there are two worlds, two classes that has emerged in the current discourse of Abrahamic and Dharmic. I can put together the Einsteins and the Rabindranath Tagore's together, all of them. You name them, Wolfgang Pauli, Srinivasan, anybody. All of them you put together over the history. Can you ever say that all knowledge is captured? No. The way we are constituted, the way we are made, the way we are manufactured, there's always going to be something you don't know. And that which you do not know is always going to be infinitely more than that which you know. This little bit, and the rest of it is all dark. That time I didn't know what was the significance of this. Now I've discovered that unknown is always going to be infinitely more larger than the known. All right. And if you get afraid of this, you're going to be ill. As simple as that. All
Fantastic.
our illnesses are this
Understand. Fantastic.
fear of
So
the
what we are
unknown.
saying is in the scientific world, we seem to hold the notion that that which is unknown can be, scrutinized and made into known. But I think
Yeah.
you're steering to the known, the unknown, and the unknowable.
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's exactly it. And therefore, this business of unknowable is the equation with the unknowable is can be broken by paying attention to attention, and then cosmic forces start coming into you. How all coincidences slowly, if you start paying attention to coincidences and just seeing the patterns in them, you will find all of them coming in to either warn you or to point out something to you, the invitation that you need to pursue.
The first of several clips that we're going to put out in the same format. Please stay curious, stay interested. We're also having a webinar, which is a two-way exchange on the 9th and 12th of Jan. We have just 16 seats. We've already started filling them up. 4 or 5 seats have already got registered. So if you're really keen right now and you want to also avail the early bird discount, please register yourself for the program. Do read the brochure. And in the next episode that we do, we will specifically weigh down on how does this body of experience, practice, sadhana that we are doing is going to help you in the world of work, in the world of helping you manage your professional life, your personal life, and take it down from praxis to applying it to the back home condition. Is that fine, Sushant, in the next session?
Thank you. Lovely.
All right. Any final words for anyone as we end this
It
session?
suddenly occurred to me that this could be a very nice uh, pre-test for the internship program anybody is thinking of, or somebody who says, "Hey, I don't want to go to all that long thing, but I want to get to know what it is all about." This is a compressed sampler of the internship if they want.
So what Shushanto is saying is that this is actually a trailer that you can sample and see what is going to happen in the larger movie if you go through it, which is referring to the internship in process work, which is a 3+1 4-year program with all the bells and whistles. And yes, for those of you who really want to make this into a way of life, a practice, who want to go in for a sadhana for a longer in terms of doing one's internship, here's a sampling program that you might want to join first. And it's much easier in terms of getting a clear idea of what the roadmap looks like. With that, adieu for now. See you again sometime next week. Thank you, Shushanto. Bye
Thank
bye.
you, Steve.